A couple of weeks ago, I had somebody reach out to me on Instagram asking me if I could make a pair of doorknobs for a project they are working on, and I decided to squeeze it in between a couple of bigger commissions I have on the books. They also asked that I got some clips of me turning, and I figured I'd go one better and make a whole video. But here's the challenge. A while back, a friend, who will remain nameless for their own safety, made the declaration that it's not possible to make an interesting wood turning video. That's why all the YouTube turners start putting weird things in resin. So here's the challenge. How do I make this video interesting? Interesting videos tend to have a great story to tell. An underdog succeeding despite all the twists and turns in the story, a revolutionary way of thinking or addressing a problem, endless clever editing tricks to retain the audience's attention. Well, there's no real story here. Person on Instagram needs doorknobs, Neil makes doorknobs, everyone is happy. It feels lacking in any drama or tension. There's nothing revolutionary, if you'll pardon the pun, about turning these very functional pieces. And I doubt there's anyone learning new technique from my work. In fact, I imagine there's a fair number of people who have suggestions on how I could improve or should have done it differently or bought the wrong tool. I'm not revealing a new and game-changing tool in this video. There's no state-of-the-art technology here, no brand commissioning, a big exclusive reveal of a project they've spent years developing. Sure, as a small element of the bigger project my client is making, this is an interesting feature. The inclusion of a handmade product rather than something just bought off the shelf is worthy of note and speaks to the quality and attention to detail in their work. But that's not my story to tell. Nor is my element of the bigger picture critical. There are many doorknobs in the world, I'm sure the project would move on without me. So with a lack of story, a lack of educational angle, and a lack of significance of the end result, how do I prove my friend wrong and make an interesting turning video? So I started from the question of why do I like turning? And I think for me it comes down to the meditative nature of it. But then that's all in my head. The repetition of process, slowly removing material to reveal a something from within the wood. I guess I could get all philosophical and start quoting Michelangelo, but to compare a couple of doorknobs to the statue of David seems to do his many years and incredible skill a disservice. For me, there's something very calming about slowly making the same pass over and over again to create a shape. To see the wood grain reveal itself as you remove the excess, and the feeling of controlling a smooth cut, producing ribbon shavings, is very addictive. So maybe if it's meditative and repetitive, I should be going down the ASMR route. Sounds of tools cutting through the wood, birdsong and wind blowing through the trees outside. But then again, the lathe is a power tool, it's just the sound of a motor. And given my location in Commuterville outside a large city, the noises from outside are likely to be car engines and the construction site over the road. Maybe the issue with turning videos is the description of the work. Perhaps it's in the pursuit of avoiding the monotone description of each individual pass that leads the more excitable wood turners on this platform to shout lots and add jeopardy in the form of things embedded in resin or unfeasibly large turnings or ridiculously complicated segmented pieces. Let's face it, it's pretty obvious what's happening. You don't need me to tell you that I'm removing wood to end up with the final shape, and almost every human who is likely to watch this has the basics of sanding within their comprehension. I could take the time to list every grit of sandpaper I will use, and I could even show you each and every one in use. But the reality is, it's just sandpaper being held against the spinning piece, unless you are there to feel the changes. So maybe it's in the edit. Maybe I speed every shot up to 400% so it looks like the wood is just disappearing. Maybe I cut out how often I have to measure the piece to ensure the sizing and shape is within the tolerances needed. Maybe every camera shot should rotate like a 90s MTV music video, and no shot should ever be held more than a second. And of course, I'll need an ultra slow-mo of the wood chips flying towards the camera, and an even slower slow-mo of the finish being applied so that we can watch the grain pop. Or maybe my friend is right. Maybe it is impossible to make a turning video that's in and of itself interesting. Sure, some other turners may watch, but does the video reach anyone? Does it move anyone? Does it inspire anyone? Does it serve a purpose beyond feeding the trolls who'll tell me I'm doing it wrong? Maybe not, and therefore maybe it's about the story I tell while I turn. Maybe it's about the thoughts I think while I turn. Maybe I should make the video and share my thoughts about the video at a conceptual level. Maybe I should write a monologue about whether I can make an interesting video about turning. Maybe this is that monologue.